Okay, we are coming towards the end of the night. I started my night with Cadball Estate from Glengiri, 15 years old, 43% alcohol by volume. Then I moved on to the Old Forester single barrel exclusive from the BC liquor stores. Then I had a Pinot Noir cask finished Shelter Point single malt Canadian whiskey. And in between I had a couple other drams, just to keep me going while I was editing the videos. And now I'm on the last one. This one here is the Glengiri Renaissance, 17 years old, third chapter out of 4 chapters. I was able to find the first chapter and the second chapter and the third chapter, which has some dust on the top. And the third chapter, but the fourth chapter I have not been able to locate. So there's the third chapter. I'm going to try this. Where is the little pull tab on the side of the... There it is. Okay, found it. See the pull tab thing and the top off. And here we are with the 17-year-old composite cork Glengiri Renaissance. Well, maybe a little more. Okay. It smells good already. But to compare it, there's a 17-year-old. It has a 17 on it right there. I'm going to pour me a dram of the 16-year-old. See, there's a 16 right down there. Yeah. Going to pour the 16-year-old as well. Ooh. I'm going to feel good and fall asleep like a baby later on tonight. And the 15-year-old Glengiri Renaissance. Here we go. But, like I said, I have not been able to locate the other one. The fourth chapter, which would be 18 years old. The only shop I ever found these at were the Tudor House in Esquimalt. And I have not seen Glengiri Renaissance in any other shop anywhere else that I have traveled to. So I may have to give up on ever getting a chance to try the 18-year-old fourth chapter. But we do have something representative here. This is the third. So far, it smells really good. What does it say about this? Where did the box get thrown to? Oh, there it is. I threw the box. And I didn't even take any... Okay. The road less traveled. I may have read this part already. Precious few whiskey travelers venture this far east in pursuit of the perfect dram, but those who do never look back. If this is your first time in the celebrated granary of Aberdeenshire, there are a few local customs you should know. Firstly, the whiskey and the valley from which it takes its name are pronounced Giri, as in Cheery, in the ancient Doric dialect still spoken in these parts. Secondly, we have been making our much loved whiskey here in the historic market town of Old Meldrum near Aberdeen ever since 1797. So, as well as being Scotland's most easterly distillery, we're also one of the oldest. Glengiri, as you are beginning to discover, is a wee bit different, and all the better for it. Ah, the Renaissance. Produced the same way since 1797. Imagine raised eyebrows when awakened. No, the good folk at Glengiri have succeeded in creating another masterpiece, remarkably different from the original, but also remarkably good. Released at 15, 16, 17, and 18 years of age, Renaissance charts the fascinating project of the spirit in the cask. Okay. Nothing new here. Third edition, 4-year release. Product of Scotland, 700 mils. 50.8% alcohol by volume. So right in the Goldilocks zone from what I can tell. All right. Let's get to nosing and tasting this again. It smells beautiful. I'm getting something fruity and something at the same time caramel. You can tell it's Glengiri. Nothing else smells like Glengiri. Can I pick it apart? It's just beautiful as it is cohesively. That's the 17-year-old. Let's try the 16-year-old. Oh, the 16-year-old right away has a chocolate note that the 17 doesn't have. Chocolate mocha. Mocha note. Oh, this has been open for a couple of weeks. It's giving me something more than the 17. Let's go down to the 15. Oh, even more of the chocolate and mocha notes. Oh, yes. I'm also getting the oak and mocha. Okay. To the 16 again. Oak and mocha. Smells delicious. The 17 still needs to open up a wee bit. But I will try it as it is. And I may come back to it eventually. They are quite similar, these drams, as they are the same whiskey. But aged. 17, 16, and 15 years in a cask. 17-year-old. Wow. It's quite fruity. It's somewhat briny. I'm getting a lot of that seaside character. I'm getting a lot of caramel too. I'm getting a little bit of a bite on the tongue. That's possibly from the high ABV, but the ABV is 50.8%, which is not extreme. The other two are oh, that's different. This one's 750 mils and imported by Beam Suntory, import code Deerfield, Illinois. The 15-year-old is distilled and bottled in Scotland. And is this a 700? Come on. What's the volume? 51.9 alcohol by volume. 750. So this is 750. That's a 15. This one is 750. That's the 16-year-old. And the 17-year-old is a 700 ml bottle, and it's bottled at 50.8. Wow. So they're different sizes of bottles. Yes, 750, 750, and 700. And they were all bought at the same shop. Curiouser and curiouser. Wow. That is interesting. Once again, the 17-year-old third chapter. I must admit that I do get a little bit distracted sometimes when I'm tasting whiskey. And this time, I got distracted. And I didn't tell you how much it cost me to have the Glengiri Chapter 3 Renaissance. The price of admission is $169.99. So that would be $17 divided by 2, giving us the goods and services tax plus the $17 liquor tax plus the 10 cents bottle deposit plus the $169.99. Making the third generation, or the third chapter of Glengiri Renaissance, 17 years old, $195.59 out the door in Canadian funds. Wow. I'm thinking that it's not worth the price unless it opens up very dramatically from where we're at right now. Because, $200, yeah, that's a lot of money for a whiskey. Yeah. That's a 17-year-old. It's lovely, it's oaky, it's delicious. 16-year-old in a 750 ml bottle. Oh, that has more. It has oak too, but it has more chocolate notes to it than the 17-year-old. This is the 16-year-old. It has more chocolate to it. It's also a little rough, but Glengiri has a way of being that way. Let's go down to the 15, which has been open for the longest time of the three. Oh, malty and caramel and chocolatey richness. Oh, it's more malty and smoother than the second chapter. Second chapter again. The second chapter is a little more oaky and a little less chocolate than the first chapter. So far, I like the first chapter best, but it's the one that's been open the longest. Third chapter. Again, these are at quite a high ABV. The 17 shines out the least, but it is the one that is most recently been opened. So that is 50.8. This one is 51.4 and 51.9. So they go decreasing strength. I'm going to add a little bit of water to each one. Let's say 1 spoon. Let's add a spoon of water to each of these drams and see what we get. They're all wonderful so far. Okay, 1 spoon of water to each. The 17-year-old. Still smells delicious. '16-year-old. Oh. bit spicy. And malty. And the 15-year-old, which has been open the longest. Oh, that's nice. I'm getting some orange and orange peel. This is chapter 1. A lot of orange, mouth-watering orange, and a little bit of spice on the finish. Let's go for the 16-year-old. This is a little more malty on the nose. A little more savory, perhaps. A lot more spicy than the 15-year-old. Quite a bit more wood influence, I would say. I don't know what kind of wood they used, but there's a lot more wood on the 16-year-old than the 15-year-old. 17-year-old with a spoon of water. I'm getting some orange here too. Some tangerine citrus. Oh, delicious. Tangerine citrus on the nose, and on the finish is a blood orange. That's hard to beat. Yeah, it hangs on for quite a while. Mind you, that's with a spoon of water added. I may come back to this in the future and try it again, but right now I'm really happy with what I'm getting. This is a nice dram. All three, the first chapter, the second chapter, and the third chapter, they're all good. They're all very good. There are slight variations between the three. Oh, now I'm getting a chocolate mocha out of this one. This is the 17-year-old chapter 3. So, in all three, there are elements of orange, blood orange, chocolate mocha, maybe a bit of coffee, malty. They're all quite malty. They're all quite flavorful. After all, they are Glengiris. Glengiri is going to be full of flavor. Very nice. Most enjoyable. Slancheva.
Food Quig.
Food Quig.
Food Quig.
Food Quig.
Food Quig.
Yeah.